Well, howdy me howdy. It is Saturday morning, almost Saturday noontime. And that means it's time for the next round of the GTRC racing action. This is round 8 of the GT3 series. We're at Yas Marina for this round. And this, due to some combination of circumstances, this is a small grid this weekend. It's fine, that means more points for us. It'll let us get away from Type R, who's feeling ill. Hope he feels better. We're still kicking in the Viper, as we're going to struggle. I think we're going to be a few seconds off the pace for this hour-long race. It is what it is. The Viper just I can't really get to handle around here. Also, haven't gotten any practice besides the little bit I did on joining the lobby. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a fun one to watch. Might not be so fun for me racing it. Ooh, but yeah, got another minute before qualifying. As always, qualifying here is in practice mode. It will be after a double reset, and it'll be in the form of an outlap and 2 flying laps. So that's 2 opportunities to set our qualifying time. I'm seeing 156s from everyone else. That I might get 158s. It'll probably take me 3/4 of the race to figure the track out. So with this car, so maybe by the end I'll be at least in the 57s. Still off pace, but it is what it is. Gonna have to hope pit strategy wins us a spot or two. I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to be starting at the rear. And yeah. So we are in a battle with a Type R, like I mentioned, who is ill this weekend, so he's not racing this round. Was looking forward to battling with him, trying to get ahead of him the honest way, if you will. Ha! If I am in first, something has gone wrong. Don't get me wrong, I would love it, but you see that guy in that Audi up there? He tends to be a lot quicker than me. But we're going to give it our best all the same. So if we can not be last, I will be happy. I will be content with a not last place finish. I know where I am pace-wise. It's nowhere near Doug or Ishmael. Reset numero uno. Reset numero dos. Now we wait on quality start. And then on the track we go. Qualifying will begin. Quality starts, so we can check in. Let's make sure we are on the right compound for qualifying. We are. We have checked in. We're going to make sure that everybody get on track, because we are going to be a rolling roadblock for anyone else behind us. There's just no way around that. All right, good enough. I think everybody's already gone, so we'll go ahead and get going. The first half of the track we should be alright. It's the last half from the chicane on that we're gonna struggle. This high-speed free-flowing section we should be alright. And we see a spin already in the... I think someone may have mucked that up. I think we're braking a little early. A little late on the turn-in for the second part of the chicane. This is the outlap, so that's fine. We don't want to be too close to whoever that was. Supra looks like that spun. Now we have petrol ahead of us. A lot of lifting and coasting with this car on this track. Because yeah, we really just don't get the rotation we need a lot of times if we don't. Once we get to the chicane, any advantage we have, poof, gone. There we go, on power a little too early there. Need to coast a little bit more. This is our second attempt and we've already badged it. Screw the first corner up. Way too wide there. So yeah, if we don't get that line right, like you saw there, we're gonna struggle if we don't get that line right. Yeah, that was a horrible lap. And that is qualifying done, as expected. Last. Tires! Actually, we're going to get off the mediums. We don't want to start on them. And now we wait on the race to start. Starting in the rear with the gear. 2 minutes. That means we can, once I find it. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Haven't done that one in a while. And away we go. I believe it is a rolling start. The small grid size, it should be fine. Ah! We got the screenshot. Be good. We were not in the best spots, but we didn't get yeeted off track. So we'll take that as a win. I see bar going wide up there. Screw that up. Got a little fish taily there. Not too far behind yet. Tab got it wrong. think we just not do that, we'll be alright. Of course, we do it going out of the chicane, but not to that extent. Went a little too deep in the corner there. Screw that up. So far, we're doing alright. That's a prediction I'm way off pace. Tap spun again. That's not good. Well, not good for him. Good for us. That means we can try to put a little bit more effort into figuring out what Bar's doing so we can catch back up to him. I'm not liking my fuel consumption right now. In fact, it's a bit high. With this car, it almost always is. V10's a thirsty monster. Be a little more conservative with our fuel consumption because ideally we're going to want to one-stop this. If we keep burning fuel the way we are, we're not going to make it. We're also thinking over driving because we don't really know the track, so that's hurting us as well. do not want to spin. That is the last thing we need to do right now. Too deep. I feel like we're losing 2 seconds just in that last sector by itself. That's really where we seem to be losing all of our time, which is kind of what I expect, to be honest. There's a little bit here, especially when we don't get the line right like that we did there. But we can get a good chunk of it back here. Normally. So we get that final sector. We'll lose a little bit here just because of early braking. Because I really can't carry any speed through here. So we're going to second that pair of corners. You did not do that. That's going to cost us a lot of time. on the Astro, that could really hurt us. Cause us to hemorrhage time this lap. Just put it behind us and focus on the next one. Come on. That's gonna hurt even more. That was like 2 seconds lost over those 4 corners. Again, we're just trying to lose grip there. Don't need to be doing that. Looks like Bar may have made a big mistake last time around through that chicane. Close up a good gap on him there. Almost halfway through. 36 minutes to go. was not a particularly good lap. One stop's gonna be close. Just looking at fuel right now. Tap's gone into pits. We have survived the first stint. It's going to be a stretch, but I think a one stop is doable for us. Oh, I think Tap is just calling it basically. It's like he's sitting in the pit. He may have something came up. Who knows? That guy's not known for quitting, so not entirely sure what's going on, but hopefully he can get whatever's going on sorted. At this point, just get some more seat time and push for a little bit more points. See if we can gain any ground while we're on these mediums. And people's trying to stay out on the hards. Doug's staying out. Maybe we can gain on him. Fire's staying out. Hopefully we can gain on him too. $155.6, really, dude? Doug's coming in off the mediums. R's coming in off the hards. Hopefully we gain some nice ground on Bar while he was in the pits. said, I'd probably get in the 57s during the race. I don't know if I can sustain them. Wasn't that a good exit? We're now losing ground to bar again, which is not what we want to be doing. Ay, ay, ay. Just 19 minutes to go. we're safe from going a lap down, but I think we're about as good of a position as we're going to get unless bar really screws up several times between now and the end of the race. See if we can actually get into the 56s. A little over aggressive there on the corner. Kicked the rear out a little bit more than we needed to. "15 minutes to go." Yep, that's what we needed to not do. where no one's around us, so all good, I suppose. At this point, we're just trying to learn the track for next time. Nope, the front wheel wasn't biting there. I think that's really what I need to figure out with this car, is just how to make the front end bite. That's ultimately what I'm struggling with. Because prior to the Spec 2 update, this car was very easy and very fun to drive. The rear end would kick out nicely for you around a lot of these corners. Now the rear end just grips for days, and the front doesn't. That's really what changed about this car after Spec 2, which is when this car's handling for me was destroyed, was nerfed to hell. After the Spec 2 update, where with it, the front stopped gripping basically, and the rear would start gripping for days, where before it was really the other way around, which was fairly realistic for this car. This car, realistic in real life, had no front grip issues. It was all in the rear because of the suspension geometry, the way it was set up. It was very stable up front and very twitchy in the rear, which is why it was so prone to oversteer. And also is why actually the car ran such a massive rear spoiler, rear wing, whatever you want to call it, was to basically compress the rear suspension so it wasn't as twitchy. But it didn't make the rear end drag around like a boat. It just made the car controllable, actually. That's all it served to do. Now the car is, at least in the game, very difficult to drive because the front just doesn't seem to get any grip, really. Like the rear feels like it's gripping for days. The front just struggles to grab any surface grip when cornering. Nine minutes to go. Alright, now we're just trying to settle back down and just try to get our left tires back down. So we've let them climb up. On a track that is notoriously difficult to pick up penalties, we managed to do it. We managed to pick up a penalty. So we went wide, going into the S section. So deep on the brakes there. Screw that up royally. And then we didn't get to bite it until we actually hit the curb. Too much curb on the inside there, so we ended up sliding the rear a little bit. Four and a half minutes to go. It's like another 3 laps. I think I have enough fuel to make it. I'll check here in a second. Close, I know that much. No rotation that time around. Barely. final lap coming up. We're just trying to survive the lap at this point. So everyone else gets 31 laps, I just get 30. That's fine. Oh, and Tap gets noticeably fewer, but he sat in pit for a while. I guess it took forever to figure out what was going on with him. But GG's everyone, we finished. Technically a lap down, but that's because we just ran out of time after everyone else crossed the line. Schmeo, GG's, well done. He gets the win. Super looks like he's going to take second. It was a good bit back. And last I checked, Super does have the fastest lap. That's a little bit of good news for him in his battle to hold on to the lead. Petrol in third. Is Barry going to get the better of Doug? Something happened to Doug on the last lap because Barr was behind him. Oh dear, there he is. Doug crossing the line. GG's. Well done. I'll take a screenshot here. Everybody but me and Tap got into the 55. Sheesh. And Superboy does indeed have the fastest lap. We have saved the race footage. So we are set to go for when we do the rebroadcast of this tomorrow from the bird's eye view. Whew, but that will be that when we do it. Let's move to our lovely, doubly little chat screen. Whew. This was fun. Ooh. Oh. It was good seat time. Good experience for us. This is not a track I'm familiar with, so I had no expectations coming in. In fact, I'm technically not last is appreciative, even if it is because for whatever reason or another, Tap had to go into pits for a significant portion of the race. So, but I think had he carried on, he would have eventually gotten ahead of us, maybe caught up to Barr and Doug, and yeah, he could have had a better finish than we had. But for whatever reason, he had to put it in the pits. Ooh. Alright, so yeah, so like I said, tomorrow we'll post the video, the replay broadcast of this, and then next week is... Actually, I think next week is IRO, so I think next week is going to be an off week. If not, it'll be the next round of the Elantras at whatever track it's going to be at. I don't remember. A Trial Mountain be the next track for that. But if it's not that, then in 2 weeks' time, we'll have the finale for this series, which will be at Road Atlanta. It's going to be an interesting race. It's a short track. The Viper might actually do decently well, assuming I can keep from spinning. That's probably going to be my big issue there. It's just a couple of corners, a couple of sections are going to give me fits. It's going to be all about me just not spinning. If I can avoid spinning, I'll do well. I usually do okay at Road Atlanta. Never great, but rarely horrible. You know, I've had a couple of horrible races there. But for the most part, Road Atlanta would do alright. So, as long as I can keep it on track and pointing the right way, we'll be alright. But with that, we're going to call it a day. I am the Damn Cat signing off. I appreciate the likes, the shares, the follows. Helps the channel grow, helps get our message across. And our message is always that you matter. You are important. The light that you bring to this world makes it that much better, that much brighter. If you need help, reach out. Whether it's to me, to someone you know and trust that has always had your back, or push come to shove, the first person who's able to take a moment of their day to give you a helping hand, even if that's just in the form of sitting over a pint of beer, listening to you vent over whatever's got you down. But for any of that to matter, you first have to admit to yourself that you cannot do it alone, that you need the helping hand, and then reach out and ask for that helping hand. Once you get it, I can promise you, things start to get better. They don't necessarily get any easier, mind you, but better. The sun will be a little more warm, a little more brightening of your day. The clouds will be a little less oppressive, a little less gray, and each day is just that much better than the last. If you need help, reach out. With that, I am the Damn Cat signing off. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope to catch y'all tomorrow with the video. And push come to shove, we'll get some midweek stuff going. I keep saying that, but work and all that has kind of put a nip in that bud at the moment. But hopefully we can get something going soon. But until then, take care.